Hello and welcome to Cupcake Paper Mache. Today we're going to make a cupcake something like this one right here. At your table you will have a cupcake liner, you will have some of the paper mache paste, and you'll have paper. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a big piece of paper, and you're going to crunch it, and not as tight as you can, but you're going to crunch it into a sphere. Remember, a sphere is like a circle that's three-dimensional, big enough to be a cupcake. And now I'm going to take that and I'm going to put another paper on top of it. I'm not crunching this one up. It's kind of like wrapping it up. I'm going to wrap it around. And then I'm going to have a little bit extra here. And at your table, you're going to have tape. The way we tear it, we're not going to use a whole piece of tape. We can tear it. We take our thumbs and we just pull it like that. And we can tear off a piece of tape. We might need it. There we go. You're going to put it in there like that. Now I'm going to do the paper mache. This is my paper mache paste. I'm going to take two fingers. I'm going to dip it in, and I'm going to put it in my hand. Okay, this is my hand. I'm going to take one piece of paper, and it just sticks like that. And you're just going to coat it with the paper mache. Notice I'm not sticking my hand in. I'm not sticking the paper in. Okay, this is messy, but we can do it without making the entire room a big mess. Now I'm going to wrap it around, and you might want to go ahead and pull out your paper mache cupcake at first while you're doing this, and then we're going to paper mache the wrapper at the end. So again, I'm going to put it in my hand, and you might be able to do probably maybe 2 or 3 of those before you put more in your hand. You can kind of decide. So again, I'm just going to get it coated on both sides. And my paper mache paste is going to dry hard. So that's why I'm going to put it on both sides. And I'm going to keep crisscrossing it around. I'm going to wrap it different directions. You know, say I wrapped it across one way. I made kind of like, I did kind of like an X. And I'm going to do it again. Okay, and I'm going to do that till my whole thing is wrapped around. Now, if you want a cherry on top, you can tear off a little bit and crunch it in a little ball. And again, just put it on there for your cherry. Now, I didn't quite finish mine. You would wrap your whole thing, you would cover the whole thing in paper mache. And then go ahead and put some paste on there, stick it in, and just rub the paper mache paste on the outside of your cupcake liner. When you're done with that, you'll have a rag at your table. You'll just wipe it right off, and then you can do a cupcake drawing. So we have directions on how to do your cupcake drawing. You're going to do it in pencil first. After you do it in pencil, then you're going to do it with oil pastels. And you might remember from using oil pastels before, the fun thing with this is it's different than crayon. We can kind of smear it with our fingers. So first I'm going to do the outline. I'll try and hold it so you can see it here. I'm going to do the outline. I'm going to do my cupcake liner. And then when we color it, we can take our fingers and we can blend the color together. Now, do I need to put paper mache paste on this, do you think? Right, the answer is no. This is not paper mache. Here is paper mache. This is not paper mache. This is oil pastel. We're doing two different things today. We're doing our ice cream paper maches. So the first thing you're going to do, we're going to use a cylinder for the cone. So you're going to take a piece of newspaper and put about 5 of these like blue gems in. This fill cylinder with 5 blue gems. That's to weight it down to make it heavy, because otherwise it wants to fall over. If you have a nice next step, step 2, is crumple paper to make a sphere. Notice I'm using newspaper for this because this is not going to show. So I'm going to use newspaper to crumple into a sphere. Now I'm going to cover with a second paper. My second paper, I'm using the white. The reason I'm doing this is the second paper is going to make it a little more smooth. See how this is going to be hard to paint. And also, the second paper is so that the newsprint doesn't show through the paint. It's going to be hard to cover up all that writing. So then I cover it like this. So I crumpled it up into a sphere, put it in the middle, and then I wrap it like this. Now it's still not a perfect sphere. That's okay. you have a long piece of tape, and the way you tear your tape is put your thumbs right here and you go 2 different directions. So just go ahead and practice that right now. Just like you're ripping your tape. And so I'm only going to use one little piece of tape. I don't need a lot of tape. Just one little piece of tape is enough. You can decide if you want to do 1 scoop or 2 scoops. I'm going to go ahead and do it. We're not going to see that side. Take my tape, rip it, and put it on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my ice cream cone with my tape. So our 4th step is tape together. I can take a piece of tape and roll it with the sticky side out and stick it on. I'm going to do that, but now I'm not done. I'm going to do that to my 2nd cone. And it's still falling apart. Whoops, one of mine came out. If that happens, you know what you can do is take a piece of tape and tape it shut on the bottom. There we go. Now I'm going to take my tape. I'm going to take a long piece of tape and I'm going to like strap it down. So I'm going to do a piece here. I'm going to do a piece on the other side. Now I'm not coating the whole thing with tape. We don't want to waste our tape. I'm just going to do just enough to hold it into place. So I'm going to do one going one direction, another piece of tape going the opposite direction. When I'm done with that and I ran out of tape, that's okay. I think that'll be enough. The paper mache part before, if you did paper mache project, we might do it a little bit differently. I want you to follow these directions. We're going to use paper mache, we'll also call it drag and drool just for fun, to cover the entire project. So you're going to take your drag and drool, take your 2 fingers, dip it in, put a little bit in your hand, then pick up one of these strips of paper and you're just going to get it. You're just going to rub it a little bit really quickly to get the front and the back side covered in your drag and drool. Because this is going to harden. This is going to dry really hard. Now this one isn't quite wet enough, so I can take it and smear it over. Now just like the paper, I'm going to go different directions with it. So I'm going to do the same thing. Put my finger here. And I'm not sticking my whole hand in my drag and drool. You can rub your hands, that's fine, but we're not sticking our whole hand in it. We're not sticking our whole project in it. I want you to just put it in your hand and then cover it. So I'm going to go around one direction first. Right now I'm going around vertically. Vertically is up and down. This is my vertical direction. And then, because I want to get it covered really good, I'm going to put strips on going horizontally. Horizontal means across. My paper's stuck together here. And just do one paper at a time and work pretty quickly, okay? We're not, because we want to be able to get this done in one period. So now we're going to go around this way. And after I've gone around and I've done all of them this way, and you would keep churning it and do the whole thing. I'm just not going to take the time to show you the whole thing right now. So I'm going to put up my hands, get it wet, and now I'm going to go diagonally. So you want to make sure you have layers of paper so that the whole thing is covered and you shouldn't see any tape or any newspaper like or any of your cracks. Remember, you're going to be painting it, and it's going to be really hard to paint if it's uneven like this. So you want to get it really smooth. You're going to take your hands when you're done, maybe stick your couple fingers in there, really smooth it out. Just get it nice and wet. It shouldn't be dripping, sopping wet, but just enough that it soaks into the paper, and then that will harden and give you a nice surface to paint on.